So, welcome back to another edition of the Creative Corner with Ipsos Creative Excellence. My name is Shaun Dix. I lead Creative Excellence at Ipsos. That's everything to do with advertising research. And on today's video session, I have two special guests. First, I'll start with a lady, Traci Alford, who is the CEO of Effie Worldwide. Hi, Traci.
Hi.
And I have Pedr Howard, who is our Chief Strategy Officer at Creative Excellence at Ipsos, who works in the US. Hi, Pedr.
Hey, Shaun.
So Traci and Pedr, it's an honor, honestly, to have you both on this edition of the Creative Corner. In today's session, we are going to speak about Effie and all things creative and effective. It's at the heart of what we do, the heart of what you do, Traci. And Ipsos has recently released a 2019 report. And we have had the fortunate opportunity of working together with you, in particular, Traci, not only in the US now, actually, but also in the UK and in other countries. We're starting those relationships like France, Czech Republic, and others. So let me get going. Traci, I'm going to start with you. For most of our viewers who will be very familiar with Effie, the Effie Awards, that is, but perhaps not so familiar with Effie as an organization, and all of the other great work that you do. So, what is Effie all about, and what is its purpose?
Thank you, Shaun, and good to see you again, Pedr. So Effie's mission actually is to lead, inspire, and champion the practice and the practitioners of marketing effectiveness. And when we talk about marketing, we talk about everyone in that ecosystem. So from agency side to client side to platform, I mean, it's a genuine, diverse ecosystem in terms of the people that we deal with. We have 50 national programs around the world, and we have 4 regional programs. And the 4 regional programs literally pick up the gaps where we don't have national programs. So effectively, we cover the globe in terms of who we talk to. We're a nonprofit organization, and I would say sitting at our core is effectiveness. And what that means is that we go incredibly deep on it. And I think, the 4 pillars, which you will see in the report that we did with you guys, around, context and objective setting, strategic idea and insight execution, and ultimately results, is how we frame everything that we do. And as you said, I think we're famous for our awards, but more and more over the last couple of years, we have started to mine the insights that we have and actually start to create educational programs so that we as an industry can continue to be more effective. Because, I think it's always been a case that as a marketeer, either client side or agency side, you're there to deliver growth. And I think now more than ever, with resource constraints, the current flux of change, etc., I think the pressure to do that is even greater. And I feel that, that's where the partnership comes in to help everyone and work with everyone to give insight so that we can actually all do our jobs better.
Pedr, over to you. Can you tell us more about why we at Ipsos got involved with Effie in the first place, and explain a little bit about the Effie report and what it's about?
Yeah, sure. Hi again, Traci. Hi, Shaun. Here at Creative Excellence at Ipsos, one of the things that we've seen a lot of success with our clients recently is moving that research earlier in the process and using research to really kind of help those ideas be better, instead of seeing research more as a way of grading the final work at the end. So within that, that quest for effectiveness and helping clients really make those ideas that work, we saw a very clear overlap and benefit to working with Effie and focusing on that effectiveness and really appreciating the way that Effie it's not just creativity for the sake of creativity. It really has to have some impact for the brand in market. So the Effie report is a data analysis of all of the Effie entrants and winners. So what we've got is extensive data behind every single submission and case study that's been submitted. And we can look at which ones won, which ones didn't, what level of award that they had, and then look at certain trends and patterns to see what makes an Effie winner. So, what makes that most effective work that's being awarded in the Effie Awards. and what tactics maybe effective marketers can take from that to help achieve success for themselves.
So thanks, Pedr, and you mentioned a point that I think is interesting for us to dive into a little bit deeper, Traci, and that's on for the advertiser and marketer. What's the big value for them learning from all of the things that Pedr said and what you guys bring to the table?
So I think what people don't know is we have around 10,000 case studies that sit in our database, and they're global and they're diverse. And so I think going in and doing the analytics can really give you some concrete and actionable things to take away in your toolkit that will help you be better at what you do. And as I mentioned before, that concept of growth, that's only going to get more important as we move forward. And I think, the 4 pillars, I think it's absolutely crucial. And I see this across the board all the time. The gold winners are outstanding in each of those. So, for example, you may have an example where you're outstanding at an objectives, but then it falls down in the creative, or you're outstanding in creative, but it doesn't matter. And I think, that consistency across each of the pillars is absolutely, totally and utterly, fundamental. And what we hope to do is work with marketeers at different stages in their career. Mm-hmm. So that as they grow and as they become more senior and ultimately CMOs, and ultimately we want CMOs to become CEOs, as the owners and the drivers of growth, is that they take that learning and they use it and it's applicable to their day-to-day.
Yeah, and I can imagine, especially as we've heard in the industry, that marketers tend to change their jobs quite often. It's a good way to learn from other industries and other verticals where they may not be working right now. And so that brings me to the next point of what's actually in the report, Pedr, and what are some of the highlights that are in the report that folk can look forward to when they look at the Effie report.
Sure. So there's a few different topics that really jump out. I think one thing that I always get excited about is seeing proof that brand purpose is driving effectiveness. How brands that take a stand and do some good in the world actually do see business impact as well. It's not an either or. You can do both, and great campaigns often incorporate that, and it kind of amplifies the effect of their campaigns when they do that. I think another takeaway for me is the use of channels. For a number of years, we've seen people adding more and more channels into the mix. The latest, fad channel, this is the one that you'll get the most effectiveness on. Let's make sure we throw this one or that one in. This platform is the one to be on this year. We're seeing a lot less about one driving performance more than another, or a number in particular being the sweet spot. What we're seeing is the very best creative is using the channels that they are most effectively. So it's being disruptive, and it's making the most of the advantages that certain channels bring to your mix. And that's really that's the great thing about this. You see that sort of, it's always back and forth between the effectiveness and the creativity. It's not one or the other. They're kind of driving each other forward.
So here comes a difficult question for both of you, because I can imagine when you think of all of those wonderful awards and cases that Effie brings to the table. I mean, we've gone through these each year. We go through them and we see such fabulous cases. But now for both of you, which is your personal favorite at the moment? And let's think about 2019 at the moment, and not move to 2020 yet. Which is your favorite, and why?
That's incredibly difficult, because we do see some amazing work from different parts of the world. And I also think every single piece of work is a learning experience as well, that we can take away. But if I look at 2019, I think, we can't overlook the Tide case. I think, which is also embedded in the Effie report, they were really clear on their objectives. Now, often we have people setting, 8, 9 objectives, and we have people just setting 1. And I think that the sweet spot that they arrived was really, really clear. Their strategic insight, and again, I know, Pedr, you guys touched on this in the report as well. I think to own clean is, really quite special. And the way they did that is that, it doesn't matter then moving forward whether it's actually competitors out. The minute you talk about clean, you're aligning it with Tide. And the results were nothing short of exceptional. And it was a really beautifully, fully integrated, engaging campaign with exceptional results. So I do think, in top of mind for 2019, that's certainly the one that comes to mind for me.
Yeah, it's a superb example, a really good example. So Ped, your choice.
Again, so many great case studies. I'm lucky enough to have got really deep into understanding so many of the winners of this during this report. One that jumps out for me is the Gerber Anything for Baby case. Traci mentioned earlier, sometimes that strategic insight can be the most difficult thing to get for the campaigns. It's the thing that a lot fall down on. And that really clearly shows how kind of one unifying insight and big idea can translate through the whole campaign, every touch point through product development, and all of that. It's also close to our hearts at Ipsos because we were lucky enough to actually work on the very first iterations of that campaign. So I think that's the one that is closest to my heart overall.
Lovely, great examples, both of you. Thank you. So what's next, guys? We saw the US awards were announced recently. Any final thoughts to share on what will come next for Effie and Ipsos, Traci?
Well, I think 2020 has been an exceptional year, and I do think moving forward it will be incredibly interesting. I think the concept of culture and its impact. I know, Ped, you mentioned purpose and the integration of that. We are seeing more and more that they're extrapolably linked, and you actually can't pull them apart. And like if you reflect on our 5 for 50, brands like Nike, Unilever, it's embedded in what they do. And I do feel, particularly in light of the year that we have just seen, we are going to see more of that. And I think, quite frankly, for business and for growth, I think that's a really good thing.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the all of the data in hand now for the 2020 winners and entrants. So we'll be looking to dig some more new insights out for people from that in the coming months to find out what really drove the winners this year. And again, I think 2020 has been such a crazy year. I'm really looking forward to seeing the process start again with the next round of entrants, which will be in the 2021 awards, to see how people, are showing that they were effective in everything that's gone on this year. Traci, when's the deadline for the next round?
So the next round, call for entry starts in December, and then it ends in January. We've had to push it out slightly in light of everything that was taking place. So it's going to be a very condensed time frame, but we're looking forward to seeing some, exceptional work.
Yeah, can't wait
Fabulous.
to see some.
Fabulous. Thank you very much, Traci and Ped, for sharing your insights with us here on the Effie and Ipsos partnership. And I'm really looking forward to hearing more about what the 2020 report can bring, as you said, Ped. But more importantly, I'd love to hear what your favorite campaign will be next time we talk. And let's see who the winner is in 2020 for both of you. So thanks very much for your time, Traci especially, and Ped. Cheers. That's
Perfect.
great.
Thanks, Shaun. Thank you, Ped.
Thanks a lot.
Take
care.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.